Dr. Tejaswini, working as Assistant Professor of Biotechnology in Maharani Science College, Mysore. We'll just look into the first topic, that is animal cell and tissue culture. Animal cell and tissue culture is a technique in which the tissue fragments or else the cells are taken out from an animal's body and grown and maintained in the laboratory in a suitable medium. Or it can also be defined as the culture of whole organs, tissue fragments, as well as dispersed cells on the suitable nutrient medium. Example: tumor cells, steroid producing adrenal cells, adenocortic trophic hormone, secretory pituitary cells, growth hormone secreting cells, etc. Looking into the historical events in the development of cell culture, it started way back in 1878, wherein Claude Bernard proposed that physiological systems of an organism can be maintained in a living system after the death of the organism. In 1897, Loeb demonstrated the survival of cells isolated from blood and connective tissue in serum as well as the plasma. Serum as well as the plasma served as the nutrient source here. In 1907, Harrison cultivated frog nerve cells in a lymph clot held by the hanging drop method and observed the growth of nerve fibers in vitro for several weeks. He was considered by some as the father of animal cell culture. In 1816, Ross and Jones introduced proteolytic enzyme trypsin for the subculture of adherent cells. Adherent cells meaning the cells which are closely associated with each other. These cells have to be separated off, and for this purpose the enzyme trypsin was used. In 1940s, the use of antibiotic penicillin and streptomycin in animal cell culture medium decreased the problem of getting the contamination in the cell culture. In 1952, George Gay established a continuous cell line from a human cervical carcinoma known as HeLa cells. Delbaco developed a plaque assay for animal viruses using confluent monolayers of cultured cells. In 1952, Eagle studied the nutrient requirements of the selected cells in culture and established the first widely used chemically defined medium. In 1961, Hayflick and Moorhead isolated human fibroblasts and showed that they have a finite lifespan in the culture. In 1880, Arnaud actually isolated the leukocytes. In 1903, Joly isolated the tissue explants. In 1907, Ross Harrison grew the frog tadpole and the spinal cord in a medium. In 1912, Alex Carroll worked on the tissue and embryo extracts. In 1913, again the same person developed the detailed methodology for animal cell culture. The major developments in cell culture technology is the use of antibiotics, which inhibited the growth of contaminants. Second was the use of trypsin to remove adherent cells to subculture further from the culture vessels. The third development was the use of chemically defined culture medium. The importance is the animal cell culture enabled the study of whatever work which was done using a live animal. It can be applied under laboratory condition, which is called as in vitro studies. And apart from the use instead of using a live animal working in a lab condition, the huge breakthrough was with respect to the cancer research and the production of vaccines. The inheritance studies can be widely studied under laboratory condition by using animal cell culture. The embryological development can also be studied, and apart from that, drug action on the cells can be visualized under laboratory conditions using the cultured cells. The cellular immunity with respect to any diseases can be studied widely in the laboratory conditions itself to identify the respective pharmaceuticals which can be used against the invading organisms under laboratory conditions using animal cells which is grown under laboratories. The detailed process of the disease progress at the cellular level can also be studied under lab condition using animal cells. The products produced by animal cell culture are as follows. The enzymes which are produced are urokinase, tissue plasminogenous activators. These are actually presently produced in a huge scale, that is in an industrial scale. The hormone, growth hormone, viral vaccines, human rabies, mumps and rubella, right now corona vaccines, veterinary foot and mouth disease vaccines, Newcastle disease, etc. can also be produced. The monoclonal antibodies which can be used as diagnostic tools can also be produced by animal cell culture. The insect virus, baculovirus as insecticides can be widely produced under laboratory conditions as well as industrial scales and can be used as a bioinsecticides. And immunoregulators such as interferons and interleukins can also be produced. The whole cells can also be used for toxicological testing of any drugs or chemicals or environmental pollutants. The advantages and disadvantages of tissue culture methods are as follows. Looking into the advantages, the cells will be grown under a controlled environment with the stabilized systematic physiological and physiochemical conditions. The characterization and homogeneity of samples is easy and it can be done under laboratory conditions itself. Instead of using a whole animal, using of tissue cell cultures is an economical process. The screening of tests of any sample is much cheaper when compared to using the whole animal. The legal, moral and ethical questions which will be raised by using the live animals can be avoided by using the cultured cells. The disadvantages are as follows. Whoever is working on animal cell culture needs to be an expert, and the quantity which is used is very less. The differentiation and selection of the animal cell culture have to be well managed, and the origin of cells is also questionable and it has to be highly monitored. The instability of cells is widely seen in the animal cell culture that is also to be addressed.